Nearly fell off. Hi. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. So we are connecting again on Zoom.
We are. It's great.
Um, just a few houses apart. um, to get together to have another one of our chats and the second one in our kind of series on the immune system.
Yeah.
Just to remind folk that I'm Ruth Coates and I'm a counsellor psychotherapist based in East Lothian.
And I'm Lisa, and I'm a coach, fitness coach at Go Train East Rocks, and also I have Super Being for all your foodie kind of nutritional needs.
Yeah, and it's food that we're focusing on today, isn't it? So we
Yeah.
were previously had a really good laugh when we were talking about the immune system and stress and the great boost that laughter can give us and how important, how fundamental it is for us. And we let everyone know that our next chat would be about food and that we were going to talk about something else for our third chat on the immune system.
Yeah.
So yeah, we as usual, our kind of launch pad for this is about stress, isn't it?
Yes.
And the effects of stress on our whole system. Yeah.
And it's not just, I suppose, about, just because we're talking about food, it doesn't mean that it's about your belly. But it also means just how that whole system of nourishment affects our well-being in our head. So
And it makes me think about stress, the effect of stress. Like, I'm a bit of a nervous system nerd, but how it affects our nervous system and also our second brain, our gut. So if we're experiencing a lot of stress, as many of us do in different ways, then it has an effect on how we digest and how we take the nourishment from our food.
Totally, because you can totally block up. You'll be eating, and stress eating is something I'm sure everybody's familiar with, but it's when you're eating so unconsciously that you don't know that you're eating. And I think we've got two camps of people. You've got one type of people who, when they're stressed, they just don't eat. They're sick to their guts. They're all going so fast that they can't think about even swallowing. So the whole peristalsis of that action of swallowing and actually getting rid at the other side, that whole movement stops. So everything comes, or you've got the other type of camp, which is just
I think it's really interesting that how and why we're so different like that. I know that I when I'm stressed lose my appetite. I lose track of eating, and that's really not good for me. But also there are eating too much is also
I think any emotional poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, all of this contributes to our system having a lower immune. It stops the functionality of us, how we work well and collaborate with this brain and this brain.
Exactly.
And when we're under stress, or again, we're not eating well or not sleeping well, or we're not doing anything, we're sitting a lot and just not moving, then it has an impact. And it's a bit like stress and all of these other things are like our kryptonite for our immune system. They don't help. So it's just about trying to do little things.
So given all that then what are the little things, like you say, that can help us connect those two brains and give us enough of an immune system support to cope with stress? Because we all have stress in our daily lives. It's going to come along. So what can we do to really support our immune systems?
Well, looking at it, and the tiniest of tiny wee steps is maybe looking at what do you do when you get up in the morning? So are you a person who gets up in the morning, jumps into the shower, goes downstairs and has breakfast? What does that look like? Is it rushed? Is it busy? Or have you got time? Or could you create some time within that morning routine just to make yourself either a really good tea bag, so like a puka, lemon and ginger, or fresh ginger and fresh lemon squeezed into some hot water, and just drink that and awaken your body slowly and get everything working. So that'll ignite.
You know what I find when I'm not great at doing that, but when I do that, the best chance I have of changing my drink is if I prepare it the night before, and it's there waiting for me.
Great. So that's
Yeah.
very conscious, isn't it? So that's something that you want to do because you're thinking about it the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, if time is precious in the morning, there you go. It's like preparing your oats for your overnight oats at night time. If you do that, just maybe prepare yourself either a tea bag or slice yourself some fresh ginger and squeeze the lemon into the ginger,
Uh-huh.
seal it over with some cling film, and then pour some boiling water over it when you're ready in the
In the
morning.
morning.
Or you can
Yeah.
take that in a flask, and maybe just before you overload the digestive system with food, because it has to work quite hard with food, just let it absorb the lemon and the ginger first, because the ginger's warming and the lemon is very clearing.
Uh-huh.
So they're two nice things to take.
Mm.
If you don't have the fresh stuff, try and get yourself a decent tea bag. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
recommend getting like a Pukka tea bag, or one that's quite good. If breakfast is good and maybe you do that already, maybe you could think about how your sleep routine is. So you could maybe think about what you do before you go to bed, what stops you from going to bed a wee bit earlier. Do you get enough sleep? Are you a good sleeper? Do you wake up in the nighttime? So it's looking at not just, because if you think about it, if you don't get, I know if I don't get enough sleep, I know that my body thinks it needs to binge the next day. I crave all sorts of
Yeah.
rubbish.
Yeah. Well, that's
Um,
about getting the energy and where you know you get the energy from, and maybe it's the sugar and the caffeine and all of that. So yeah, it does tie together, doesn't it? The food we eat, it's like a cycle. So we can actually make food choices that support our immune system and help us promote a good night's sleep, which also supports our immune system. So we can't see one separate from the other, can we?
Not really. It's so
Mm.
interlinked. And I
Yeah.
think, we'll all understand and identify with, when we've eaten the rubbish and we've maybe just eaten it, and we've realized, oh my God, I've eaten 10 digestive chocolate biscuits. Ooh. And then it goes into then that's a negative cycle of, oh well, oh my God, that's rubbish, that's not good, I'm a failure, I've eaten this many biscuits. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter. So I mean, what would you say to that whole psychological impact?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of guilt and shame around food, isn't there? And it's hard to it's possible, totally possible, but it's hard to unknot it all, I suppose, our emotional attachment to food. But I think, yeah, like you say, the first step is to become really conscious and aware of catching ourselves and how we feel about it after we've had a few digestives or whatever it is that we feel like we're kind of overeating on or shouldn't be eating, is really catching that feeling and just trying to shift one step into gentleness with ourselves and a bit of self-compassion. Even trying a new voice, just gradually. It's like, okay, it's all right, we can start again. Or this is, what would you say? Because I know you work with people with super being, and that obviously must come up. So what's your chat around that?
It is to be kind first and foremost.
Mm,
And I think when we start our work, we create the mindfulness at the very beginning. So they have got 2 weeks on their own to create their own mindfulness, to get inside and to be conscious about what they're
oh,
doing for
great.
2 weeks before
Yeah,
we
so important.
get there.
Mm,
And then, which is wonderful, a wonderful thing happens. They then become so aware of their own wee habits. And it's not about feeling guilty or feeling ashamed or feeling that I'm here to judge. It's nothing to do with that.
yeah.
It's awareness for the client to be able to go, ah,
Yeah.
okay. And it's just this lovely penny dropping situation where they kind of think, okay, it's either this is not serving me and I don't want to continue this way. How do I make it better?
Yeah.
And it's about sort of how do I look after myself better? How do I
Yeah.
feel better?
Like, but I think the flip side of that, or the added bit to that, is actually we have power in our choices. And I think as soon as that is realized, and then being able to make those very small steps. I mean, it is really small steps, isn't it, to begin with, and changing habits. So you talked about that first thing in the morning, that choice of drink. So you lemon and ginger, and so and that being a really good start to the day. So what other small changes do you think people can make to support their immune system and mood, actually, the mood?
So to support your immune system and mood, if you know you're a 4 o'clock slump person,
Yeah.
and every bone in your body is crying out to take the chocolate bicky or the Twix or the whatever, change it up. Think, okay, well, I'm going to allow myself the little dark square of chocolate, and I'm also going to have a few berries, or I'm going to have a wee bit of sliced up apple. Sometimes, to be honest, this is a thing. Chunking a massive bite of an apple is really unappealing to people.
Uh-huh.
And but if you cut it up into little wedges, it's a completely different experience.
You know, I really love that with like nut butter or something. Oh, it's amazing.
Or natural yogurt.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Lots of wonderful, and I mean, it's as simple as that. You know, I don't feel like an apple, but if it's sitting there all cut up in little wedges, I can get through that.
Oh, there's that swap as well. It doesn't have to be no chocolate. It can be swap it for a darker chocolate.
Yes,
With a high cocoa amount.
So important to not ever feel deprived, because deprivation makes you rebel.
Makes you stressed.
Yes.
That scarcity. Yeah,
and
it can make you feel.
It's the whole cycle then. I want it, I'm having it, I'm doing it, and I don't care about this stupid healthy eating. And then you eat whatever you feel that you've deprived yourself of, and then the guilt comes.
Yeah.
That's no way to live. Have it all.
Yeah.
Honestly, have it all in moderation. You know that if you have 10 digestive biscuits, that's slightly excessive. But if I have 2, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that's what I need there, and then think about it before it goes in there. Think, is it a chocolate? I'm using chocolate digestives. I have no idea why. But is it the chocolate digestive I want? Or am I thirsty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I find even talking about it is really quite kind of, oh gosh, relieving and reassuring. And actually, we don't need to give ourselves such a hard time. And like we said, that can actually add stress, and it's just exactly the opposite of what we're talking about. So just to summarize and then kind of end with one of your kind of recipe ideas, maybe. Summarize then is that it's about small changes and really intentional changes. Maybe a bit of planning is needed the night before. But to start really small and to really catch how we're feeling when we do something off track, and to start to maybe use a kinder voice with ourselves and say, you know, it's not about denial, it's not about not being able to have things, it's about making these small powerful choices to begin with. So what's your suggestion of a healthy lunch or a tea that we could?
Well, a quick and easy, it could be a snack, it could be lunch, and it could be tea, maybe plumped up with some other wee bits. But this is cost effective as well. You could make some omelette pancakes. So that's just a little bit of egg butter, and you put them in the pan, and you just create more of a pancake. Do another one. So it's probably a 1 egg thing. So it's really thin. And then take that out and roll it up and stick it in somewhere warm where it can stay warm, and make them like that. And just as you would with normal pancakes, and just set them aside. Prior to that, you want to maybe make a little spicy tomato and red pepper, because this is all full of vitamin C. And really good for your immune system as well. So you take some, I prefer to use real tomatoes. If you can't get them, use a tin tomato, but put a little bit of sugar into them, or a bit of balsamic, something to take they're quite bitter. So you want to just debitterize them a little bit. And so into there, so if you've not got that, use the sugar, but fresh tomatoes, chop them up, chop up the red peppers, reduce them in a pan with some garlic, well, loads of garlic. I love garlic. So loads of garlic, and maybe a wee bit of, if you can, basil. It's not necessary. Just reduce those, even a bit of onion and a wee bit of celery. It's completely up to you how you make that tomato sauce taste for you. Reduce that off, blitz it all down, and then take your little omelets, your little pancakes out of the oven, pour over your sauce, voila.
Oh, they sound amazing.
Yeah, really healthy and really tasty. And I think that's what we should really go to town on here. There is no point in eating what you consider healthy if it's not tasty.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it can definitely be both. Yeah. Great. I'm wondering if we can look out for that recipe on your Instagram or Facebook sometime soon on Super Being.
Maybe
That'd
stick
be
it up.
great.
I'll maybe try and make them and do a photograph and stick it up.
Yeah, fab. That'd be fab. Great. Thanks, Lisa. So
Thank you, Ruth.
next time is our third chat about the immune system, but this time based on movement. And maybe it's not the kind of movement we usually think of as well. So yeah, in a few days we'll get the next one out. But just now, thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Good to see you.
You too. Take care. Bye.